going on, Jerome's? Purple for the Win merch is back in stock, so check it out in links below. Otherwise, producer Allie will be very upset with me. It is less than a month away till the NFL draft, and we do have 7-rounders for the Vikings all the time. Hell, we might do one today. I don't know. I don't know. Got a big day planned. Gonna find some Easter eggs and stuff. Maybe Bed Bath & Beyond later. Who knows? But we're gonna fire up a full first round mock draft now. We could do the trades in real time, but I don't feel like it. So what we do have is the Vikings making a trade with the New England Patriots. So it's 11 and 23, and the future first rounder for 3, and also we get back a third round pick, number 68 overall. Nice. Almost nice, as well as the Broncos and the Giants work out a trade. Now you're going to ask yourself, why would the Giants trade if the Broncos want to come up? Well, the Giants definitely have the leverage over the Broncos, and we'll get into it. But these trades would happen in real time in the draft, but I don't know. I'm just kind of too lazy to do it. It's a documentary shot in real time. So first 2 picks, Caleb Williams as well as Jaden Daniels. So I'm worried about Caleb Williams, man. Like, I think he's got all the talent in the world, but also I think that he has a pretty low floor, and I think that Chicago is a place where quarterbacks go to not succeed. And obviously, I have a vested interest in him failing, so hopefully he does. And then he can become the Vikings quarterback of the future's backup in 4 seasons after he fails. Next up, Jaden Daniels in Washington. Now, I understand the parallels. So you have this Heisman Trophy winning electric mobile quarterback that you're taking at 2. Now, that you also have concerns about his frame and durability. Now, the RG3 ghosts should not dissuade Washington from taking Jaden Daniels. It's a new ownership group, and also, I mean, hell, it's a new team. It's literally a new team name. But Jaden Daniels, he's Hollywood, man. And with Magic Johnson as part of the ownership group, like, he understands Showtime. He understands it's about selling tickets. He understands it's about putting butts in the seats. So Washington fans, commies fans, like, they're some of the hardcore loyal fans out there in the league. They don't get enough respect, and they've seen some very bad football over the last couple of years, and they finally get their guy in Jaden Daniels. I think that he is going to be electric. Him and Scary Terry, woo. Let's go, man. Let's go. So in real time, the Vikings make that deal with the Patriots where, I mean, the Patriots could stick and pick and take Drake Maye or J.J. McCarthy, but I feel like May would not be good with the Patriots because they have too many needs, and you saw what happened when Drake Maye had a downgrade in talent from 2022 to 2023 at North Carolina. Now, that's not an aspersion on him. Same thing happened with Caleb Williams, by the way, and probably the same thing would have happened with Jaden Daniels and or Michael Penix if they took his star receivers away too. But Drake Maye is walking into a fantastic spot here with the Minnesota Fighting Vikings. Talent galore, doesn't have to start right away, isn't seen as a savior, and also you have offensive-minded head coach. You have Josh McCown that you go way back with, and also Flores building that great defense. So Drake Maye, welcome on in, baby. You are the future of the Minnesota Vikings, and just don't F it up. That's all I got for you. The rest of the way. So covering the top 12. So Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals. I almost went Malik Neighbors in this spot, but I feel like, so never fall into the trap of like dynasty fantasy Twitter, because it'll just make you bang your head against the wall. But basically it said, oh, you like Harrison Jr., a skosh above Neighbors. I mean, why do you hate Malik Neighbors? No, both these guys are going to be great. So Harrison Jr. at 4, Kyler gets a new receiver, 1. They get their Larry Fitzgerald 2.0. Joe Alt goes to Chargers. Now, would be tempting for the Chargers to trade down, but they're not going to do business with the Broncos and or the Raiders, and I think that the Giants know that. So Joe Alt goes to the Chargers. Now, it'll be a question, do you move Joe Alt to right tackle? Do you move Rashawn Slater to right tackle? Do you move Rashawn Slater inside? It's a good problem to have. But Joe Alt, the pride of Totino Grace, right here in the great state of Minnesota, goes out to La La Land. Harbaugh rebuilds his offensive line. So the Broncos come up, and I understand, like, the Giants could just sit here and take J.J. McCarthy and everything is good, but the Giants leverage the Broncos. Like, the Broncos are desperate. Stupid-ass Sean Payton wants to get something done now, and I mean, the Broncos give up 2 first-rounders and a third to move up from 6 to 12. 12 to 6. They go from midnight to 6. So they come up for J.J. McCarthy. I do believe the reports that stupid ass Sean Payton is in love with J.J. McCarthy. Like he's ready to rock and roll and good to go. So now Jim Harbaugh has to face his boy twice a year. It's kind of sad. 7. So the Titans benefit greatly. So Malik Neighbors just falls into their lap, and now they have a fantastic looking wide receiver crew for Will Levis. And now they definitely could and should go offensive line here, but they didn't. So it is what it is. The Falcons. So Leatu Latu, his size and his speed and his bend and his ability, like, he would be a top 5 pick if he didn't have the neck issues, right? But if the medical team clears him, he's good to go, and he is the new talisman on the edge for the Falcons if they don't get this pick taken away, which would be so sad. 9, so yeah, the Bears fans obviously would want Rome Odunze, but they can certainly grab a receiver later on. And this edge class, it's not top heavy, but so there's not elite guys going into the stratosphere, but there is a strata of Verse and Latu and Dallas Turner, and then I think there's a pretty precipitous drop off. But Dallas Turner coming on in, so Turner and Sweat, that's going to be annoying. It's going to be annoying as hell going into the future. The Jets, so the Jets could go a lot of directions. So Rome Odunze is there. Offensive tackle is there, but Brock Bowers over the middle. I mean, that's a lot of fun. And I feel like the hype around Brock Bowers has sort of really been dampened down, mainly because of that injury. Didn't test, so sort of out of sight, out of mind. But I mean, he's a legit 4-4 guy, and also with the new no hip drop tackles rule, like, it's going to be really hard to bring him down in the open field. He'll be a yards after catch machine, and I think that he could legitimately change the game. So the Patriots' first of the 2 picks from the Vikings is Rome Odunze on the outside. So whoever the hell they get to be quarterback, Jabroni Brisket, sure. Rome on the outside is a big-bodied, wide catch radius receiver for whoever the hell's under center. 12, the Giants. So what's interesting is that the Giants could have taken McCarthy at 6, right? But you feel like Brandon Beane and Brian Daboll have to gamble a little bit, and McCarthy, hate to say it, but McCarthy is like the safest of the quarterbacks, right? So he has a high floor. Maybe his ceiling isn't as high as the other guys, but Bean and Daboll, they have to gamble their asses off. And Penix is that gamble, where he does have the best arm talent in this class, Joe Milton notwithstanding. And if you're going to roll the dice big. And if Michael Penix Jr. stays healthy, just like he did over the last 2 years of Washington, they may have hit the jackpot here, especially since they got those first-round picks from the Broncos. But also, who knows if they're going to be around to use them. But yeah, Penix is going to give Danny Dimes a run for his money in New York. Oh, also Drew Lock. Sure, why not? Next. So the rest of the top 16. So Tulisa Fuaga going to the Raiders. So they would have liked it landed Penix, sure, but maybe they can squirt around and get Spencer Rattler or Bo Nix in the second round. And also Tulisa Fuaga is a man at that tackle spot. Troy Fautanu, so he's a physical freak, and he could play tackle, he could play inside. His movement skills are unparalleled. And the Saints, Trevor Penning ain't working out left tackle. Ryan Ramczyk may be done with that knee injury. So Fautanu coming in from Washington down to New Orleans, it makes sense. Quinton Mitchell. So the Colts missing out on the L'Jarius Sneed derby. So they get a true blue cornerback 1 on the outside, and I really like that. I really like that. The Seahawks. So the Seahawks are a lot like the Ravens, and it makes sense with Mike McDonald coming from the Ravens to the Seahawks, where they just get dudes in the front 7. And Jared Verse has that power, and he's going to be great in the rotation. Jared Verse, Boye Mafe and company, so they're going to get after things for Mike McDonald. And the rest of the first round, so the Jaguars, yeah, you probably could have gone wide receiver in the spot. BTJ is just there winking at you, but Graham Barton's going to be a dog in this league, and replenishing that interior offensive line for the Jaguars makes sense in front of Trevor Lawrence. Johnny Newton going to, again, now, The Bengals could certainly trade T. Higgins at any point, and BTJ would make a ton of sense, but Johnny Newton coming in and playing the Geno Atkins role. I love it. The Rams out in L.A., so they got to do something, and they could go edge in this spot. They could go well, if Penix was there, they might go Penix, left-handed Stafford, southpaw Stafford rather. But with the retirement of Aaron Donald, they need someone in the middle. They could have gone either way with Johnny Newton or Murphy if Newton was still on the board. But Byron Murphy II, Pride of Texas, heading out to L.A. What up? 20, Sylvie cameo. What's up, baby? Where you going? All right. The Steelers up at 20. So, I mean, I had half an idea of going with Terry Arnold in the spot and pairing him up with JPJ, the original JPJ, a long time. But Brian Thomas Jr. on the outside with George Pickens, I like it. Just a physical freak receiver getting after things for us. But really, Justin Fields. 21, the Dolphins. So, really sucks what happened with Connor Williams and that knee. But JPJ, so he's got the power, he's got anchor, and he has movement skills, and I think he's going to be a leader for the Dolphins. Now, there's talk that the league may not be as high as on JPJ as some of the draft analysts, but that smells like smoke. That smells like smoke, man. 22, the Eagles, so they definitely need help in that secondary. Terry Arnold, high IQ, high character cornerback, certainly going to help things on the outside for Philly. 23, the second of the 2 first-rounders the Vikings sent to, well, 3. To the Patriots for number 3. But J.C. Latham coming on in. Now, they need to solidify things along the offensive line. Latham will go a long way to doing that. 24, so I love this pick. Zach Frazier is my dog. I love him. He is feisty. He is a leader. He is tough as nails. And this is very much akin to like when the Cowboys drafted Travis Frederick at center a couple years ago. Oh, well, it's actually like a decade plus now. A lot of people were like, huh? But Frederick really solidified that some of those great Cowboys offensive lines for a number of years, and Frazier will do exactly that in Big D. 25, it's a match made in heaven. Coop. You can already hear it. Now, yes, a little bit of crossover since they brought back Nixon, and Cooper DeJean is automatically off the bus, walks in as one of the top 5 punt returns in the game, but they can sort things out. But in terms of a very versatile defensive back, Cooper can play off or zone at corner. He could play split safeties. He can play single high. He could play whatever. Right? So the Packers definitely get themselves a fantastic pickup at a position of need in Cooper DeJean. And Packers fans are going to love Cooper DeJean. 26. So the Buccaneers, I mean, there's a lot of cornerback options in the spot, and they sort of have needs all over the place. But TJ Tampa is a guy from Iowa State that I'm really starting to like quite a bit. And, I mean, I can't shake the Antonio Cromartie comps, just because of the length and stuff. But TJ, super feisty, and I think he's going to do very well in Todd Bowles' defense as they look to replenish that cornerback room. 27. So first you buy the house, then you buy the insurance. Well, I guess Marvin Harrison Jr. is a house. Well, he's at minimum a condo. But Oluvashanu falling down a little bit in the draft, but the Cardinals get him to solidify the tackle spot, trying to protect Kyler, keep him upright. Well, you know what I mean, upright at 27 here. 28, so this one gets spicy. And, yeah, the Bills definitely could go DB in this spot. Had Nate Wiggins penciled in right away, but Ladd McConkey, just a lot of fun. And Ladd McConkey is probably the cleanest route runner in this class. Don't at me. And watching him, yes, it's like, oh, he's Cooper Kupp. Oh, he's Cooper Kupp. He's Cooper. You see a lot of Stephon Diggs in Ladd McConkey's game. Just the smoothness and transition and just getting open when you know that the guy's getting the ball, especially on third down. I mean, Ladd McConkey's got a ton of that, man. 29, so the Lions definitely have a need at corner now, but Nate Wiggins on the outside, or yes, a little bit undersized, but certainly is unafraid and going to get after it. 30, so we're going to give the Ravens like, I don't know, Darius Robinson or something like that, or Chop Robinson or something like that, but so they definitely have an issue at tackle, so they gave Moses away to the Jets for nothing, and Ronnie Stanley, I don't know, man. I don't know. But physical freak Amarius Mims goes from Georgia to Baltimore. 31. So a bit of an upset. And the Niners definitely need a little bit of help in the secondary. But Mike Sanderstrill, he's one of my favorite players in this class. And he reminds me so much of Mike Hilton, who low-key is one of my favorite corners in the league, where he could play slot, he could play outside, he's going to be feisty, he's going to be in your face. And, is he a surprise first-round pick? Yes. Yes, he is. But I think that he fits with the Niners' ethos, and I think that he's going to do really great things on the back end of that defense. Yeah. And then lastly, 32. So a little bit of a surprise too. And there's a bunch of other great wide receivers out here. Plus, I mean, the Chiefs do have other needs, but Ricky Purcell, where smooth as butter in terms of route running, fantastic hands, as well as his dedication to the craft, what he did at the combine, and he is really rising up. And just imagine. I mean, just imagine. Yeah. I mean, Mahomes got Hollywood Robinson, but just imagine a true blue, amazing, homegrown, super smooth receiver. Him and Rashee Rice long term. Let's go. Let's go, man. But that's it. First round mock draft. You guys know what to do. You guys are the best. Skull production value.